Welcome to your astrology forecast for the week of April 7th. My name is Molly Flowers, and I'm really excited to tell you about what's coming up this week. Let's get into it. Y'all might know I have a green and red color coding system, and this week is almost all green until we get to the weekend. Then there's a little red. Green means go, red means there's obstacles. There might be a little friction to get in your way. After 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde finally ends on Monday. Yay! And the pace of life should pick up again this week as Mercury quickly gets back up to speed. And Venus is also about to station direct after 6 weeks of being retrograde. And Venus is readying to move forward once again on Saturday, April 12th, the day of the full moon, ending the 6-week period of reevaluation and putting relationships back on track. Perhaps not the same exact track as before. After that retrograde process, it can shift things around just a little bit. Thus, the long season of bothersome retrogrades that we've been dealing with since last fall is finally over for a while. There was Mars retrograde, there was Venus retrograde, there was Mercury retrograde. And now we're through those obstacles and moving forward once again. So it is really feeling now like you have the energy and clarity to move your plans and projects forward. Saturn is also conjunct the North Node this week, conjunct the incoming cosmic tide in Pisces. So you might be receiving energy downloads from the cosmic tide that help you get better rules, boundaries, and structures in place. Saturn's position in Pisces requires that you do your emotional work and allow for fluidity and responsiveness to the squishy and emotional aspects of life. This is a call for not venting your feelings or throwing a tantrum or letting them out without any sort of restraint, but allowing for a controlled and responsible release of emotion so that you can break through to the other side of the fear or the vulnerability or whatever it is that is feeling dark and scary to you. It's always darkest before the breakthrough. But if you don't feel it, you can't heal it. If you run away from dark or unpleasant feelings, you will miss the light that's on the other side. So Saturn in Pisces conjunct the North Node really calls for you to be in your feelings and do that emotional work. It's really important. Monday, the beginning of this week, starts with the moon just having moved into the second quarter. And the moon on Monday is in dramatic and passionate Leo, and it's waxing toward the Libra full moon, which takes place on Saturday, April 12th. So momentum is really starting to build, and things are really kind of starting to come together, and your plans may be starting to move out into the world and become more complex and involve more people now that we are in the second quarter. Momentum builds toward this emotional peak all week. And then when we get to Saturday evening, that is when the full moon appears in Libra. The lunar cycle culminates with the Libra full moon, highlighting the balance of give and take in personal and professional partnerships. What's interesting about this full moon is that the ruling planet of the full moon, the ruler of Libra, is Venus, and Venus appears stationary direct on the exact day of the full moon. Stationary direct is when the planet has reached the end of its retrograde and it is locked and loaded. It is ready to begin that forward movement almost in a slingshot fashion. This is happening in Pisces, with Saturn also being in Pisces. And Venus is also going to be exactly in conjunct, also called quincunx, the full moon, and sextile Uranus. Uranus, which is also in conjunct the full moon. So this lines up the planets in a formation known as Yod, also known as a finger of God, that points right to the full moon in Libra. Wow. You might encounter a tricky situation that you must navigate with awareness and finesse. The Libra full moon on Saturday calls on us to listen to other people and consider their needs really carefully. But Libra's balance does not mean accommodating every request that every other human makes of you. This does not mean automatically giving in to urges to accommodate and to be liked, creating an illusion of balance by unbalancing yourself, compromising your own needs and goals. It's a game of constant assessment and adjustment. And with irritable Mars squaring the full moon, stirring the pot while also putting up roadblocks to mutual understanding in the form of Mars in Cancer, hurt feelings, pissy moods. Boy, I know I've been feeling that, and defensive attitudes. So it's not going to be an easy journey from A to Z. And that's how yods are sometimes. You got to really thread the needle and walk a thin line between just enough and too much. Leaning into the emotional work that you have been doing over the last 2 years will help you get clear on the issues, accept the truth for what it is, and unlock the doors to get what you really want and need out of your relationships and partnerships. The full moon's call for balance exactly opposes the wounded healer Chiron in Aries, and thus may bring up core wounds related to someone's identity, independence, or sense of self. If you are prone to chronic pain, especially in the head or the lower back and hip areas, the Aries and Libra areas of the body, be mindful as extra attention may be needed to navigate the few days before and after this full moon. The signs most affected by the full moon, I think, are going to be the cardinal signs: Libra, Aries, Cancer, perhaps Capricorn as well as Taurus and Pisces. I pulled a couple of tarot cards for this week just to keep us on track. And it's looking really good, you guys. First, I got the Knight of Wands, which is probably the fastest moving of all of the court cards, all of the people cards in the whole tarot deck. So I'm seeing this as things are really going to start moving forward a lot faster, where you may have been taking the slow road towards your goals for the past several months. Things are about to really speed up and heat up. The Knight of Wands ain't playing around. It's very, very enthusiastically moving towards a goal. And the second card that I pulled was my favorite card of all, the Sun, which represents full illumination of what was previously hidden. Happiness, lightness, and joy that shows up after you've gone through a period of darkness, fear, and confusion. It's been a time when there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot that maybe is not being said. And now, maybe as a collective, we are emerging into the full illumination of the sun. Fabulous. So y'all get out there and have a great week. My name is Molly Flowers, and I'll see you next time. Bye.